now to analyze President Herzog's impressive speech in Congress, Best is with us journalist and JNS Jerusalem Bureau Chief Alex Traiman. Alex, certainly an historic moment in U.S.-Israel relations, with Israeli President addressing both houses of Congress for only the second time. What were your main takeaways from the speech?
Well, despite the tensions that certainly exist between the two nations, Israel and the United States, especially in the midst of Israel's ongoing judicial reform crisis, the relationship between Israel and the United States is rooted in significant mutual interests, and the nature of the alliance is still very strong. And you could really see that from the 30 different standing ovations that Herzog received. And I think that he did a fantastic job of threading a lot of precarious needles to demonstrate how strong the relationship is, how deep it's rooted, and how important Israel is as an ally to the United States. Even more than what people understand about how important an ally America is to the state of Israel.
He definitely touched upon many subjects. Now, Alex, Herzog emphasized the point of friendship between Jerusalem and Washington, but also spent quite a bit of time on the issue of democracy and Israeli judicial reform. Did he do a fair job in presenting the current divisions in Israel?
I think that he did. Like I said, he tried to thread a needle. He made some allusions, but didn't suggest that the reforms are illegal in any way. He said that Israel will continue to have an independent judiciary, and I think that even proponents of judicial reform want for the Supreme Court to be an independent and strong judiciary, just with certain limits. And he also made references to the democratically elected government of the state of Israel, which I think gives a lot of credit to the voters that put this government in place specifically to advance judicial reform. So I think that the timing of this visit is indeed precarious for Herzog, and perhaps that's why it was so important and so historic. And I think that most Israelis from right to left think that the Israeli president did a tremendous job of extolling the benefits of the relationship.
Definitely. Now, Prime Minister Netanyahu, he would certainly have liked to be there in Washington addressing Congress, but the invitation really went to Herzog. Bibi was certainly the most popular Israeli political figure, but not invited to Congress, of course, since taking office. How is everything that's happening in Israel really affecting Netanyahu's image, really, in Washington's eyes?
Well, perhaps it was an advantage that it was Herzog that received the invitation, because if it was Netanyahu that had received the invitation to make this address, you might have seen many, many more protests than just the 8 far-left Democratic congressmen and Senator Bernie Sanders that chose not to attend. It's certain that Netanyahu, over the years, has now played into the partisan divides that exist within the United States, both because of his direct opposition to Barack Obama's Iran nuclear deal, and also because of his very, very warm embrace of President Trump, which actually yielded tremendous benefits for the state of Israel, but doesn't really work with Democrats. You know, I think that probably Biden and Netanyahu would wish that Netanyahu's invitation wasn't a big part of the story. Netanyahu probably does not need to go to Washington for himself. I mean, he's been there, as you've noted, many, many times before. And it's just that this issue of the invitation is being used as a kind of leverage to identify the Biden administration's disappointment with Netanyahu and his right-wing coalition's policies. But you know what? I think that the alliance is going to survive this judicial reform crisis just as soon as Israel moves past it.
Alex, really shortly in a few sentences. So where are we in U.S.-Israel relations really after 30 standing ovations for the president in Washington? Really was a very impressive part of the speech.
You know, I think that he brought a lot of guests to the speech, which were very important, including Leah Golden, who was the mother of one of the Israeli soldiers, Adar Golden, that has been captured by Gaza, and he extolled the need to bring those soldiers home. He made it very, very clear that Israel will not stand for any terror, and that terror is the antithesis of peace. I think that was really one of the strong points of the speech, and just extolling the virtue of preventing Iran from becoming a nuclear threshold state, standing in front of the vice president and the speaker of the House and right in front of the American flag, and to see the entirety of the U.S. Congress and Senate standing in rousing applause when Herzog said that these two nations should not allow Iran to become a nuclear threshold state. I think it sends a very, very powerful message to Israel's
Definitely
enemies
does.
that Israel and the United States stand together.
Definitely does. Alex Traiman, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.